and Transformers have more in common than you might think. So, first off, Transformers used Dare to be Stupid in the '86 movie, which is awesome. But then, all the way back in 2000, whatever, they had Weird Al voice Wreck-gar. And this is the Age of the Primes version of specifically animated Wreck-gar. And I only bought it because it's Weird Al. So this is a remold of Legacy Trash Master, who I kept telling myself, yeah, I should probably pick him up and take a look at. But then I heard he was getting Wreck-guard. New verb, I just made it up. And I was like, okay, I gotta check out the animated Wreck-gar instead, and it's not my favorite. Now, I know he's a Junkion, but come on. That's a bit much. Like, sure, you can technically remove it. Remove this much, but like, I don't know if it makes it better. And then he's got ridiculous side skirts, which you can also just remove. You can't remove these parts of the skirt, but yeah. Let's do size comparisons with his animated compadres. Bumblebee, Prowl. Yeah, I mean Optimus Prime. So the only bit that retains any of the actual animated Wreck-gar character is the head sculpt. Which admittedly looks pretty cool. I love when Autobots, or Transformers in general, have a little bit of personality in their face. They're not just a neutral, he's got a slight smile. And his head also looks like a TV. And it weirdly reminds me of the King of All Cosmos. Just the facial hair. But yeah, everything else is taken straight from Trash Master. The color scheme is Wreck-gar. But yeah, there's basically no new molding as far as I can tell. Although, given what this turns into, I'm pretty sure the idea for this, for Wreck-gar at least, came before Trash Master. And they just released Trash Master first to try and get ROI. Also, G1 Wreck-gar. Here's the original Wreck-gar design via the Studio Series version. Bar we grana weep ninny bong. Bar we grana weep ninny bong. Bar we grana weep ninny bong. And there's the in-show animated Wreck-gar. Because I tend to do that for all these animated reviews. I think my favorite thing about this guy is the review Thew did when he had the sliding blades out of his arms, and he called them, or the box called them "Tiene proceso de elevación," because it's randomly in. Is that Spanish? I think, but. So articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint. Yes, it is. It can look up and down and get sucked back into his head and be unfortunately hollow. I guess it fits. Because Wreck-gar's whole thing is trying to find himself in the show, so I guess he doesn't have much going on back there. You don't really literally need to cut out his head, I guess. The shoulders are universal. They can go in and out. Biceps, they can go out. Unfortunately, they don't tap in tab in securely. But you do get a very deep elbow bend. And would you look at that, a wrist swivel. Thank Primus. Waist kind of gets hindered, but it's there. You have to move stuff out of the way. You do get universal hips. Again, having to move things. You have to like tuck it all the way in. Well, I guess that's actually not that bad. It's a deal-withable backpack to get full range. You can go out all the way. You do get a knee swivel along with, yeah, he's still a junkie on, so he still comes to pieces, but yeah, knee swivel, knee bend. He has a forward and backwards ankle, which on this one it's really unfortunately loose. And I'm suddenly repeating myself when I know the floor polish trick will probably work on that, but just this is how it was out of the box. Like it was this floppy. It's really unfortunate. He also has a decent ankle pivot. So I think the only draw to this guy is its animated Wreck-gar. Like Trash Master on his own, from what I've heard, is like a better mold, or just better. Like he's a better use of the mold because he doesn't suffer for it. Because he doesn't lose a lot of what makes Wreck-gar Wreck-gar. And also you can literally see the split in that leg. Like much more prominently than the other one. Like it could split right down the middle. We do have one other left over from Trash Master. This absurd pincer scissor thing. So it has an opening mouth. It reminds me of like the tiny little chompy things from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Mousers? Yeah, I think they were the Mousers. Or just that kind of thing, like a robot with a big spiky mouth that's going to eat you. But also, are those supposed to be melee weapons? They're not quite scissors, but that's the closest thing I could come to. Now you can plug it onto his arm as a, I guess what's supposed to be a weapon. And like even, yeah, state this part has a hinge. Apparently you could sort of wrap his fist up in it to use, I guess, I don't know, as a boxing glove with spiky teeth, but I don't know, something about it doesn't seem like the proportions are exactly correct to like let it sit happily there. I'm like trying to, I'm just gonna ignore it. Unfortunately we need it for vehicle mode, but speaking of that, let's plug his crap back onto him and transform him. So these go back there. Oh God, I'm trying to... They hate me because I'm white and nerdy. I can't... I'm one, it's... Oh, because I'm white and nerdy. Like, I love riding dirty. I think it's... Chameleonaire, no joke, one of my favorite artists, rappers, whatever. And I love riding dirty. but then the white. So we're going to start by folding up his feet and plugging his legs in together. And now we're going to push his head back in. And this part is going to come up over the top. And we can get his arms out of the way. And you want the arm to tab together and rotate the wrist. How does it go? Yes, it goes like that, and then that goes like that, and tabs in like that. So on the other side, rotate it around, and those will tab in together. And you can unhook it, and you're going to rotate at the waist. So this piece is going to come all the way up and really annoyingly try and lock in under what is a windshield. Okay. And these bits are spiky and hard plastic, so like it is awkward as hell to not like hit yourself, but there you go. And these gray struts are just gonna sit up here. So then the legs are just gonna tab in to these orange pieces, and they're gonna tab into the bottom to the arms. And then to finish it up, this piece is going to peg into the hands. Like that. And close. Or better to, you need it fully down because otherwise it's just going to bend up a bit. There. And now you have Age of the Primes animated Wreck-gar in his vehicle mode. And this is why I think this was designed to be Wreck-gar, because it's a garbage truck. And animated Wreck-gar is a garbage truck. Now this isn't one-to-one the garbage truck he is, but you know, it's a close approach. It's much more armored. It feels more in line with like War for Cybertron. Like this is a garbage truck that's now prepared for war, and has this. I think this is supposed to represent. You see a garbage truck, the door close. Like you throw the garbage in, the door closes. I think that's what that's supposed to be. Is a visual representation of the door closing. Because, you know, it kind of looks like it's eating the garbage. Garbage Day! I remember when Vince McMahon threw Eric Bischoff in the back of a garbage truck. I think they were insinuating that he killed off Eric Bischoff, but you can't commit murder on national television. On a scripted TV show? Oh, wait, you can. But even this has a port on it if you wanted to plug something else into it. And you know, you got ports up there. If only he actually came with a gun. But what he does have are 6 wheels that roll very smoothly. You know, a sea of orange and gray, basically. He's cool. I can see the gray coming together to give the illusion of a complete garbage truck bed. Although a lot of garbage trucks, a lot of the time, like green. At least here, they're green. You know what annoys me? These things. You know what grinds my gears? they have a peg on either side. So when you plug them in, they can't plug in anywhere else. The plug, that one, is not on the side to actually connect to the arms. Like if it connected here, like that, or like if it connected, like look, there's enough, it's pretty much the perfect distance to plug in to the arms. I like the chain detail on the arms, that's nice. But like, why? Why would you do it like that? And yeah, they're supposed to be the arms, the telescopic arms that lift the bed of the garbage truck up, and I get that. But why couldn't they at least plug in to, like, create the illusion that they can lift it up? Like, So we have to transform the rest of his buddies. Here he is with Optimus Prime. Prowl. Bumblebee. Whee! He gets a ride. And the G1 version. So, I'm going to use a fancy word. This guy has the most aesthetic dissonance to not only his teammates, but his original version. So, I think this guy is hard to recommend. Like, if you like Weird Al, I mean, who doesn't at this point? He's coming to the city I live in, yay! Those tickets are expensive, probably. I forget at what point during this year, but at some point. And you want a Transformers interpretation of Weird Al? Sure, go for Wreck-gar, but if you care more about what he looked like in animated, this might not float your boat. But he's still cool, I guess. He's going to stand there with my animated collection, which is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Because I count Motormaster and Waspinator. And we're getting that Ratchet later this year in a couple months. So yeah. I mean the Ratchet isn't the best looking, but any animated Ratchet's better than no animated Ratchet. And that's unfortunately how you kind of have to look at a guy like this. It's better than nothing, but it's not better than what it used to be. Yeah. So until next time, truck on. And don't let life get you down in the dumps. Enjoy it while you still have it. So keep it weird. Bye.